What is going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We're back talking some more NHL 19. You guys know we've been seeing the player ratings reveals over the past 1 to 3 days. We should see the next two reveals hopefully today and tomorrow, which could be today and tomorrow. Could have already happened by the time this video is out. I'm not particularly sure. But one thing I am sure about is we have seen a lot of controversy on some of these player ratings. A lot of guys disagreeing with where a lot of guys are. Some people feel differently about a lot of different players. And I think the number one reason, and a lot of people might not be thinking about this, but the number one reason I feel like these player ratings are messed up, I don't think it's EA getting player ratings wrong. I don't think it's their bad judgment. I don't think it's their lack of giving guys their proper stats, which are good arguments, but I don't think that's the number one reason. I think the number one reason is there's no overall spread in this game. Confused, alright? Here's what I mean. If we were to go through NHL 18's top 10 centers EA revealed in NHL 18, we'll do top 10 centers from 18 because they haven't released individual positions this year. They just went straight top 50, right? So, top 10 centers. Number one center, obviously, it was McDavid, 93 overall. The number 10 center, was it Taze? Taze, 89 overall. The point is, there was a 4-point difference in the number one center in the league and Jonathan Taze. 4 points. I know a lot of people don't like Taze, but I'm just saying, regardless of how great of a player Jonathan Taze is or isn't, is he 4 overall points worse than Connor McDavid? That's what I mean by a spread. There's a 4-point overall spread. Now let me go over here. We're going to do some Madden comparison here. I'm going to go and we're going to scroll on over to Madden. We're going to go to the entire NFL here real quick. We got to look up my Bengals. That was depressing. We're going to go to quarterbacks because if you guys don't know, you don't follow football and you're, hockey and everything else. Football is the most important position in football is undoubtedly the quarterback position. Kind of like you could argue that for center. You could argue goaltender. You could argue all over the place. But center, a lot of people argue center is the most important spot, right? So when you see the top 10 in centers, you say 93 to 89. All right, so here's the top 10 in quarterbacks for Madden. Aaron Rodgers, best quarterback in the league. 99 overall. There's a 99 overall in this game. Why would Aaron Rodgers be a 99 overall? Why would Tom Brady be a 99 overall? Last time I checked, 99 overalls meant best player in the game. Oh, they are the best player in the game, am I right? My point. Why is Connor McDavid a 93? But anyway, continuing on, not what I was getting at. I got a little bit distracted. Drew Brees, 92. Drew Brees is an elite quarterback, all right? 99 overall, Tom Brady, best in the league. Drew Brees, 92. Drew Brees comparison, Stamkos? Is that a good one? Can we compare Drew Brees to Stamkos? Drew Brees to Stamkos. Who else could you throw in there? Not Sagan. I'd throw Sagan in there because I think he's a nice fella. I'm drawing a blank here. I want to say Malkin. I want to compare Malkin to Drew Brees, and I think that's probably a good one. They're both kind of not talked about enough, and they're both fantastic players, right? But there's a 7 overall point difference from the best player in the game and Drew Brees, who is a very, very good quarterback. And that's the best I can do, I think, is Malkin to McDavid. Somebody's going to make fun of me for that comparison, but that's the difference. They're putting a 7 overall point difference between Malkin and McDavid. So let's go down to number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 10th best quarterback in the league is an 86 overall. So there is a 13-point overall difference in the number one quarterback in Madden compared to the 10th quarterback. 13 points. Now I want to dig a little bit deeper while we're here on Madden. Let's go to my beloved Bengals, who are very good at just about nothing. Andy Dalton's a 77 overall. We'll start with Andy Dalton. Is Andy Dalton a fourth-line player in the NHL? Not a chance. He's probably your second hybrid first-line guy on some teams, right? He's not a bad quarterback. Okay, he's not a great quarterback. He can't perform the greatest. I'd call him an average quarterback. An average player in NHL is going to get an 84, 85 overall. An average player in Madden, you're seeing him get a 77 overall. I'm being a little bit modest. Somebody's going to make fun of me for calling Andy Dalton an average quarterback, but he's had his ups and his downs. He's an average quarterback. But that's like your number one centerman. You go over to running backs, we got an 84 overall Giovanni Bernard. That's all right. That's fine. Wide receivers. Wide receivers, this is just ridiculous comparisons I got today. I want to call them wingers, though, right? We got AJ Green, elite wide receiver. And with second best wide receivers, a 76 overall. They're both starters. They're both on the field all game, like playing on the first line. They're always out there. Doesn't mean he's getting granted an 85 overall just because he's always out there. I think it's crazy. You go look at, these are all starting positions. Right tackle, 67 overall. He's a starting right tackle, but he's still a 67 overall. There isn't a 67 overall on a single roster in NHL, I don't think. I'm pretty sure the Bengals got it worse than that. 67, 70. I could have swore we had a 60 overall. 67 is bad enough. Regardless, 67 overall. We'll stop there. A 67 overall right tackle. He's a starter. So the difference between, say, the best in the league, a 99 overall, and somebody that's bad is a 67 overall. There's a 32-point difference in overalls. If you were to go look at NHL, you look, Connor McDavid's a 93. Probably the worst players are around 75. There's an 18-point difference. It's almost double the difference. And why does that matter is because when you go out there and you think about it now, and I think this is why the ratings are so messed up. Probably felt like I got hella sidetracked there, right? This is why the ratings are so messed up. If you go and look at so many of these guys that are 50th to what? 20th, 21st? There's like 2 overall points difference between them all. Besides Tays, it's like what, 88 to 90s, 49th to 20th? There's only 2 overall point difference? That's crazy. You want to give a guy like Devin Dubnyk an 89 overall? I completely get it. That's perfectly fine. The problem is, I think EA just says, oh, we're going to give guys overalls and punch stats in, and they don't consider who's better than who. They just give them an overall based on, well, they're a good player, and we'll just give them stats. Here's an 89 overall, right? They're a good player. They don't look and say, who's better than Devin Dubnyk? Pekka Rinne is better than Devin Dubnyk. I get it's 1 overall point difference, so it's like, in their mind, not a big deal. But really, at the end of the day, you should be like, Pekka Rinne is better than Devin Dubnyk. Pekka Rinne, if Devin Dubnyk's an 89 overall, Pekka Rinne deserves a 92 or 93. And if you want to consider, say, Bobrovsky and Holtby in a different class to Pekka Rinne, as we were showing earlier, like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers to Drew Brees, Pekka Rinne's a really, really good goalie, but he's still not on the level of those guys. And like I said, I'm just being speculative here. I'm not calling Rinne worse or better than either of them 2 goalies, but I'm just saying, hypothetically here, then you would give, say, since we gave Rinne a 92, 93, we would give Holtby and we'd give Bobrovsky like a 94, 95. And if you want to consider Carey Price the number 1 goalie in the league, like I said, again, hypothetical, he shouldn't be, but they'll probably give it to him after last season, that is. He gets a 99 overall. When you have a bigger overall range, you have more room to spread these players out. So, you're going to give Devin Dubnyk an 89. Matt Murray example. Matt Murray, he should get like an 84 and 85. And then, not disregarding Matt Murray, if you go and look at, I don't know, Kari Lehtinen, Antti Niemi, they probably deserve a 75, 76. They're starting goalies. They still deserve a 75, 76. I think that's where they get messed up here. They're like, and I think that's where they're stuck in this little box. They're like, we have to give this guy this high of an overall. He's a starting goalie. He has to have a 75. No, he doesn't have to have a 70, or he doesn't have to have an 84, 85 overall. He's a starting goalie. If he's a bad starting goalie, give him a 70 overall. I got to get on NHL real quick, see what I'm talking about here, make sure I'm getting some credibility going. Let's fire up the good old NHL 18. Alright, now I got to go to my Blue Jackets because I don't want to make fun of other players, people's teams, because I know they won't be happy, so I'll just make fun of my own team, right? I lied. We're going to Minnesota. Michael Granlund. I was looking for an 85 overall. I found one. Nothing against Michael Granlund, just using it as an example here. You look at him, 6 seasons in the league. This is obviously prior to this season. Just came off the best season of his career, and they gave him a 77 overall. And I would, you can argue and look at it and be like, those are average numbers. I'm bringing up average. I'm not going to be like, oh, he's a terrible player. You don't want him. But at the same time, he's not some elite player either, right? But you'd love to have him on your team. He's a good enough player to make your team. Michael Granlund, 85 overall. And I bring him up to compare to somebody like Andy Dalton. Again, average player. I'm not going to go any higher than that. I'm not going to call him elite, but I'm not going to call him terrible. I wouldn't complain about him being on my team. I feel like he can do things from a team. I feel like Michael Granlund can do the same thing. 85 overall for average. Andy Dalton, average 77 overall. But I go back to Granlund, I go back to McDavid. So an average player in NHL is an 85 overall. And the best player in NHL is a 93 overall. Which means you have to fill in average players and the best player between 85 and 93 overall. So instead of being like, Leon Draisaitl, he's good, but Artemi Panarin, he's better. They're both 87 overalls because you can't be like, well, Leon Draisaitl is good, Panarin's better, so Panarin gets the 88, but Seth Jones is better than Panarin, so he gets an 89. And then, let's keep going here. Nathan McKinnon's better than Seth Jones, he's a 90. But then we get over to somebody like Steven Stamkos. Steven Stamkos is better than Nathan McKinnon, so he should... Oh, that's too high of an overall. That's not going to work. Plot twist. Vladimir Tarasenko, he's better than Nathan McKinnon, we'll give him a 91. But you look and you say, well, if Tarasenko gets a 91, Steven Stamkos is on another level than Tarasenko, so he should get a 93. Then you go and look and you say, well, Malkin's just as much on another level, so he should get a 94. Then you go to Crosby and McDavid, and you're like, well, we're already at 94, so Crosby and McDavid, they're on another planet. They should be a 99. But because we stop at that 93 overall, you're forced to crunch all those guys together, and then we go and look and people are like, why is this guy an 88 and this guy's only an 89, or this guy's an 88 and this guy's an 88 and this guy's an 88 and this guy's an 88? Because you can't spread it out. It's not spread out, so it just smushes all the players together. The best player, the 30th overall player and the 50th overall player. The 30th overall player is a lot better than the 50th overall player, but they're the same overall because that's the only choice they have. So I guess technically you can blame EA because they are pretty much the ones that went out there and gave these players overalls. But what are you looking at when you give everybody an 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93? That's the problem. How can you possibly make an overall ratings list and be like, hey, this guy's 90 overall. This guy's better than him. No, this guy's better than him. Like I said, the best way to put it is elite, great, good, average. There is such a thing as elite. There is such a thing as, well, best in the league. I should say best in the league. Then there's elite. Then there's great. Then there's good. Then there's average. You know, you see average down there around 80 overall, 75 to 80 overall. You see good around 80 to 85. You see great 85 to 90. You see elite 90 to 95. And you see greatest in the league 95 to 100. But instead, somehow we're supposed to believe that the best player in the league is only one overall point better than the elite players in the league. And then you have to jumble all that together in the next 4 overall points for all these other players, and there's no separation. So yes, I would like to think overalls will be a little bit less messy. It'd still be messy. There's always going to be controversy on whose overall should be what, but I do believe it'd be a lot less messy if these guys actually had some separation. Because if I was looking at Brad Marchand, I was like, oh, I gave him an 88 overall. But then you see, say, a guy like Alexander Barkov, instead of giving him an 88, they gave him an 85. And you're like, well, that's kind of low. Well, no. What if we give Barkov an 85, and instead of giving a guy like Granlund an 85, we give him an 82? And you're like, well, who's going to be the 82? Well, instead of Nick Foligno being an 82, he's going to be a 76. You see the separation there? You can be like, well, that's a low overall. Well, it is a low overall, but if you put him in comparison to the players behind him, you're like, oh, that's fine, right? Like, he's better than the players below him, but he's not better than the players above him. There's just a little bit of an overall difference, which they're supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to pick a player, and I think that was the problem with Hutton. They didn't get it, is everybody felt slow. If you pick Ovechkin, and this guy chooses Alexander Barkov, you shouldn't be like, oh, they feel pretty similar. They don't feel a lot different because Barkov's got 2 overall points lower on his shot and nothing else has really changed. You should be grabbing Ovi, or you should be grabbing Sidney Crosby, and you'd be like, man, you can really tell the difference. Like I'll bring it back up one last comparison to Madden. You use Tom Brady compared to Andy Dalton. If you use Andy Dalton, his passes are less accurate. His accuracy's not on net near as, in hockey terms, he wouldn't be on net as much. His shots may not be as hard. You got mid-range, that would be really complicated, but mid-range, close range, far range accuracy in football, I don't know why that's not in hockey now that we talk about it, because it really should be. And then after that would be really complicated for him, I can imagine. But if you think about it, it's a thing, right? Some guys are more accurate close than they are farther away, obviously, so it should probably be a little bit of a thing. That'll be in 2050, maybe. We might be alive when they put accuracy close, mid, and long range in hockey. But I think that's my biggest problem with the overalls. We got to have some separation in the overalls. Then there'll be some understanding. People are going to be frustrated as long as there's 1 overall point different between Claude Giroux having a 100-point season and Matt Murray posting a 908 save percentage. There's only a 1 overall point different. There's always going to be people mad. You separate that a little bit. Maybe Matt Murray's got, like I said, an 85 or an 84, and you give Claude Giroux that 89, and you're like, oh, that's understandable. He's not 95 overall, but he's not better than the 4 or 5 players ahead of him. Granted, he had a fantastic season. Right now, you can't do that, and I think that's a problem. That's my opinion. I'd like to hear you guys are thinking about it. Sorry for the long rant. That took a lot longer than I thought it was. I just get a little bit talkative. Otherwise, though, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.